Good day, everyone, and welcome to On the Aisle with Rona Mann. I'm Rona Mann, and today we are reviewing The Cripple of Inishmaan at the Gamm Theatre in Warwick. Oh, the Irish, they love to laugh. They love to cry. And I'm going to stop right there. I'm not doing the whole review that way. And if you're seeing a play that's been written by Martin McDonagh, there's also a mean streak, which he loathes to put in all his plays. A mean streak of viciousness and edge to everything he does. You will laugh, laugh, laugh until you stop and say, oh my God. The Gamm loves McDonagh's work. It has been produced, I was told, so many times, second only to Shakespeare at the Gamm. You may remember plays like A Skull in Connemara, Hangman, The Pillow Man, The Beauty Queen of Leenane, The Lonesome West, among others. The guy's prolific. And the one thing they all have in common, they're funny, and there's a certain bit of very quiet, understated horror. The Cripple of Inishmaan, I did not think was his finest hour as a playwright. I have seen most of the plays that I just listed for you. But this play is an actor's dream. And these actors all deliver right on the money. There is not one weak person in the ensemble. They are terrific. You have some of the more experienced people, and you've got newcomers for whom this was their debut at the Gamm. And you know what? They were all on that same level, a very high level. I'm not going to go through the whole plot, but I'll give you enough to know it takes place in the 1930s on a small island, Inishmaan, in the west of Ireland. It's a real place. Desolate, lonely, nothing there. It's a place where everybody knows each other. Does that sound familiar, Westerly people? And they all talk about each other. And they all gossip about each other. Sound familiar, Westerly people? Their only life, however, unlike Westerly, is picking on each other, belittling. And that's what they do. Especially, they belittle the central character, Cripple Billy, as they call him. He was born with deformities, and everybody on the island calls him Cripple Billy. Just once he wants to be called Billy, and he does wind up calling out one of the actors for that, one of the characters. And he tries to get other people to do that, but I guess he will forever be Cripple Billy. He's an orphan. Both his parents died when he was very young. He's not quite sure why. He's been told different stories by the two aunties who raised him, and they are a piece of work. One moment, they're like helicopter parents. They're over him, they're coddling him, they're babying him, they won't leave him alone. And the next minute, they belittle him, and they call him Cripple Billy. Everyone belittles him, as well as everyone else. Cripple Billy is played by one of those people making his debut at the Gamm, and I can guarantee you he'll be back for more. His name is Jess Kadama, and he handles a role that is absolutely punishing physically. He has to keep his one hand like this for 2.5 hours. Although I'm sure at intermission he's waving it around down in the makeup room, but he never misses. That arm never moves. And he has one stiff leg and he has a terrible limp. But he has a wonderful brain and a softness to him. And he doesn't let these people get to him. He's had it his whole life. And all he wants is to get off that island because he knows there's something better out there. The ants are played by Rachel DeLude and Lillian Klein. Lillian Klein made her debut earlier in the first play this year at the Gamm, Frankie and Johnny in the Clair de Lune, and this is a terrific actress. Wonderful. Rachel DeLude, I've seen a number of times at the Gamm and elsewhere, and I can absolutely say this was her finest hour, the best I have ever seen her do. Problem. The two of them start the play. There is a scene with the two of them. Their Irish accents are so thick, and they are speaking so quickly in that kind of patter that Irish people have, that you lose so much of what they're saying, which is a shame because they are really setting it up. They're setting the stage for what is about to come. I called the development director with whom I deal a couple of days later, and I asked who was the dialect coach. And I was thinking it's probably the director. And yes, it was Donla Hughes. She herself, not only Irish, but she was born and raised in that area of Galway where this takes place. She has done a monumental job imbuing this dialect in all her actors, but I almost think she overdid it and made it so that people back home would think they were from there. I think it needs to come down a little bit. Were they loud enough? Oh gosh, yes, absolutely. The way the theater is set up, again, is like, as it was for Ghosts, it's like a square. So it's like theater in the square. And you can hear them from every corner and every place. So audibility is not a problem. What they're saying is. And I know it wasn't just me. The person next to me said, I have no idea what these people are talking about. Fortunately, by intermission, I was catching on a lot more. I don't know if it was a matter of us getting used to it, but I do think it is a director's issue that needs to be brought down just a little so you don't have people missing funny lines, because this is a comedy. It's 100% a comedy, but with that underpinning, with that edge. And when people aren't laughing, you know that they're missing something. Probably the most versatile actor I've seen in the 39 years I've been in New England is Tony Estrella. He is the artistic director of the Gamm Theater, and he plays a major part in this. I have watched him for years, and I have alternately loved, hated, sympathized, rooted for him. Whatever character he's supposed to do, he just climbs inside and gets invested. His movement is magnificent. The words, the acting, the facial expressions, he is terrific. He gives what I call a near perfect performance every time. And yet he too, there were some lines at times I'd say, I don't know what he just said. And that's a shame. But let's get to the director, because she had a masterful job. The director, Donla Hughes, it's only her second time directing at the Gamm, although she has acted there before. Last season, I believe she opened the season with the play Girls and Boys, which was a one-woman show. And she was fantastic. She commanded that stage, but I won't go into a review for that. I've done that already. You probably can find it on YouTube. She was just absolutely excellent. As I said previously, Donla is from Galway, Ireland, or I think maybe you pronounce it Galway. I think that is probably the correct pronunciations, which is where Inishmaan is located. She has directed her amazing cast so very well, other than as a dialogue coach. I think she had every syllable they uttered covered. It was directed to that heavy Irish brogue and that part of Western Ireland to perfection. But so heavy at times, the valuable pieces of dialogue were lost, especially that opening scene with the aunties. It got better, we got used to it, but so much of the humor, and this is a very funny play, was lost because it couldn't be understood. Bernadette Harding plays the young gal, Helen, who also wants to get off the island. She's very attractive and she finds herself very beautiful. Who would want her? She's a narcissist from the moment she opens her mouth, but she is mean. All I could think of when I first saw her and heard her and watched her, this is Lucy from Peanuts. This is Lucy who's going to pull that football away every time from Charlie Brown. Although, unlike Lucy, she's way more physical, physically vicious. And some of that, I think, was a bit overplayed. Maybe she was directed to do so, but there were times it got a little too much. And that's where I know it was written into the script. I know McDonough, it's part of it. And I don't want to give away some of the scenes, what she does to her brother in particular. But it was overdone, I think. And there too, it needs to come down a level. Yes, this show is very funny throughout, even though it is the Cripple of Inishmaan. But then, towards the very end, as he does just about every time with his work, he lowers the boom with cruelty and viciousness that can be heart-shattering. The crushed dreams and the ache is going to stay with you. That's okay, because good theater should make certain things stay with you. I promise this is one of those shows you're going to talk about all the way home, primarily for the very fine performances by a cast you will long remember. A big shout out to Michael McGarty for magnificent set design. They always have great sets at the Gamm, unusual, different. They do lots of different things. This one is a real winner. There's just one set the whole time. It's all you need. They know how to use it. Donla Hughes knows how to direct her actors to use every bit of that, and they're almost in your lap in the audience. McGarty is the resident designer at Trinity Rep. He has Broadway and off-Broadway credits, and he really has just done this to perfection. The show is on through May 3rd. There are matinees, there are evening performances. The pricing is excellent. There are senior prices, student prices, and you are, if you know what you're going to get and you want to still be surprised, I think you're going to love it, because the Cripple of Inishmaan, it's wicked good. I'm Rona Mann. You're on the aisle with me. In a week, we'll be on the aisle at Trinity Rep. See you then.